Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. The question is asking here, they've been granted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a number of children. Can they sacrifice one big animal as an aqiqah, or does it have to be separate animals? They want to sacrifice a cow. Cow has 7 shares. They've got 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. 2 shares for a boy, another 2 shares for another boy, and 1 share for a girl. Will that be okay, or does it have to be separate animals? Now the Messenger of Allah said, Man wulida lahu waladun, anybody who has delivered a child, anybody who's been given a child from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَأَحَبَّ يَنْسُكْ أَنْهُ فَلْيَنْسُكْ. And if they want to, now here's just a side benefit, he says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَأَحَبَّ. فَأَحَبَّ refers to mustahab. The terminology mustahab comes from wordings like this that is found in the Sahih Sunnah. So the fact that he says فَأَحَبَّ sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is evidence in itself that it is mustahab and it is not wajib. So he says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, anyone who wants to, whoever would desire to sacrifice an animal, then they should do so. عَنِ الْغُلَامِ شَاتَانِ, for a boy 2 sheep. وَعَنِ الْجَارِيَ شَات, and for a girl 1 sheep. So this is what has been stated from the Sunnah. Now there is no difference of opinion between the ulama, is that if a person was to do what we find in this hadith, then this is sufficient. However, are they allowed to sacrifice a bigger animal, or animal which is outside, which is known as the bahimatul an'am? Now the bahimatul an'am are those animals which are animals of sacrifice, ritual sacrifice, and that is the camel, the cow, and the sheep and the ram. So now we're asking about a cow, but I mean, let's say if they wanted to sacrifice something outside of it, like, I don't know, any other animal, then the majority of them have said, no, it has to be from those which are known from the bahimatul an'am that we would normally give a sacrifice for hadi or udhiya qurbani for. A camel, a cow, sheep or ram. Now the majority of the ulama have said, if a person was to do any of these animals separately, then it would be sufficient. So imagine for a boy you did a camel or 2 camels, and for a girl you did a camel instead of a sheep, then this is sufficient. There is no doubt with the majority of ulama in this. Some of the Malikiya have said, no, it has to be what has been stated in the hadith. He said shat, so it has to be shat. He said sheep, so it has to be sheep. The Shafi'iyya have said it's not about animals, it's about shares. So if a camel has 7 shares, or a cow has 7 shares, and you want to have 5 shares, like in the scenario that we've got here, then 1 cow will be sufficient, 1 camel will be sufficient. Or you can have, 5 separate sheep. Because we're talking about shares, we're not talking about animals per se. Now some of the ulama from the contemporaries have said that the view of the Shafi'iyya is more correct. However, I would say it's safer to do it in the way that has been narrated, especially with this being the view of the majority of the ulama. And in essence, really, what the majority, what the Shafi'i is saying for me is a strong view, but in essence, really, what the majority are saying here is that there is no evidence to split up an animal for other than udhiyah for things like aqiqah. Because the Shafi'iyya, they're making an analogy. They're saying, look, if you've got 7 shares in a camel and there are 7 people that want to sacrifice, then 1 camel is sufficient. So why can't we do that for aqiqah? That's what the Shafi'i is saying. But the Hanabila, the majority we're saying here, the Hanafis, the Malikis and the Hanbalis, they're basically saying, no, this is completely separate. And for me, I think that view is safer, although the view of the Shafi'iyya is a very strong one. So I would say go with the one which is safer, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants all of our next generation the best of tarbiyah upon iman and ikhlas. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على نبينا